Let's listen to some great music together, guys. Of course you can't hear it. Why would you be able to hear the music? All right. This should work.
Try looking at tomorrow, not yesterday, and all the things you left behind. All those tender words you did not say, the gentle touch you couldn't find. In these days of nameless faces, there's no one truth but only pieces. My life is all I have to give. Dare to live until the very last. Dare to live, forget about the past. Dare to live, giving something of yourself to others, even when it seems there's nothing more left to give.
Se tu vedessi l'uomo davanti al tuo portone che dorme avvolto in un cartone, se tu ascoltassi il mondo una mattina senza il rumore della pioggia, tu che puoi creare con la tua voce, tu pensi i pensieri della gente, poi di Dio c'è solo Dio. Vivere nessuno mai ce l'ha insegnato. Vivere non si può vivere senza passato. Vivere è bello anche se non l'hai chiesto mai. Una canzone ci sarà, sempre qualcuno che la canterà. Perché non vivi questa sera? Perché non vivi ora? Perché la vita non è vita? Perché non l'hai vissuta a vivere? La vita non è vita, perché non l'hai vissuta mai.
Oh!
And I will say no.
Yes, yes.
Say dare to live. To live.
Ah! Oh.
Grazie.
Grazie Laura Pausini. Alla Iattico, incredibile.
È un piacere, Andrea.
E pensare che io la incontro
Piacere
sui
Andrea.
cartelloni di tutti gli stati del mondo.
Come te?
Come me.
Un po' di meno, perché tu
Grazie, Laura.
sei il più grande, la più grande voce, ed è un piacere
Sono
per
più
me.
grande di statura. Quindi...
Oh
Vi
my
ringrazio
gosh.
per avermi dato l'opportunità di suonare, cantare con una bellissima band, con un pubblico così speciale e soprattutto con il grande Andrea Bocelli.
Beautiful.
Grazie.
Yeah, I think I'm dropping a couple frames live, guys. I'm sorry for that. It's definitely my internet. It is what it is, though. I'm sorry. Oh. Let me see if I can change that my stream bit rate real quick. Then we can talk about this, because what a stellar performance. Like, oh my gosh. Here, let's see if this helps. This should be much better. All right, give it a second, guys. It should fix itself. Okay. Okay. This is an older recording, but it's the... I've been looking into trying to understand, this popera crossover thing. Andrea Bocelli is such a popular singer, and it's kind of a meme for opera singers when someone's like, "Oh, Andrea Bocelli is my favorite opera singer," and we're like, "He's not an opera singer." But the more I'm exposed to his singing, my grandma really loved him, my mother really loves him, and the more I'm exposed to a singer, the less I'm like, it matters, because he does stuff that is unacceptable in the traditional idea of opera, right? And things like adding a little bit of grit, right, to the sound to imply some tension, to imply some power. It's the kind of thing where, if I were to do that in an audition, I would be like excommunicated from the industry. And right now, listening to this and seeing how there's so much need for understanding between genres of music, especially for forms that are lesser known, like classical music. And these popera crossover things are so incredibly valuable because there's so much beauty in them, even though they don't fit the category of the repertoire, right? But it's still so magnificent. So let's start from the beginning and just talk a little bit about technique. I had the lyrics pulled up and we'll talk about that too. This trippy pop opening. Capriani, I agree. Exactly. If you bring joy through your art, which is done with the voice, you're a great singer.
Try looking at tomorrow, not yesterday, and all the things you left behind. Oh, those tender words you did not say, the gentle touch you couldn't find.
It's so awesome.
In these days of nameless faces, there's no one truth but only pieces. My life is what I have to give. Dare to live until the very last. Dare to live, forget about the past. Dare to live, giving something of yourself to others, even when it seems there's nothing more left to give.
Se tu vedessi l'uomo.
All right, Laura, clearly a native Italian speaker, but she has an amazing English accent, or, English singing accent. Everything is so concrete. But while we're here, Lanito, thank you for the 14 months. It's been such a long ride. I'm so glad you've been here with me. Finally we're back. Yop, thank you for the gifted sub. Rune, thank you for the resubscription. 8 months, much appreciated. Cosmic, I think everything is broken today, so we'll just deal with that. Sorry. Stimba, thank you for the 8 months. So appreciated. And Yop, thank you for the gifted sub. Oh, man. Okay, so Laura's voice is it's so pure, it's so grounded, and so open, and it's one of those voices where, yeah, we can compartmentalize when we talk about someone who's like a belter. We can talk about someone who has more of a classical technique. Her sound is very chest dominant. However, she doesn't cut off any of the resonance. She lets it live equally between that head voice resonance space that you can feel while singing, but also she never cuts it off from her chest resonance. And that's why we get that full broad timbre. If you're practicing at this level and you really understand how your breath works and you understand what to feel for the breath, you start to manage the different types of frequencies you get in your voice for different timbres. And so she starts out soft. It's very just even, like middle voice, very heady, light, airy, right? But she never gets off the voice. She never unsupports it. And so when she amps the volume up, it just magnifies all of the resonances in there through breath support. It's really beautiful. And yes, I love what you said about their chemistry, Capriani, because it makes all the difference in a performance like this. Like, you might think that at a level, people are performative, they're doing a thing, and they're doing it for money. These are huge concerts, whatever. But at that level, what you end up getting is artists who know how to connect through music on stage. And when it's such a touching song like this, and I'll go through the first verse that we just did in a second, you can't help but have that, like, you create a world, right? I mentioned a while ago, there was this quote from this TV show called The Kaminsky Method. And I will never forget this quote. And it's like, as an actor, you have to play God because you have to create a world in a very small amount of time that is believable to the audience. And that's exactly what artists do, especially performing artists. And these two are no exception to that idea. They're, regardless of their personal connection, I have no idea, if they're friends or not. They probably are, but I don't know. And so what they're ending up doing, regardless of their real life connection, is building a world together on stage that we as an audience can see and like have joy in, right? So beautiful. Yeah, what would music sound like? Well, it would probably sound very similar to someone who's blind, but it's the sensory awareness of it. I had a blind colleague, and he was a great singer, and he had perfect pitch. So he could read the notes on his like braille reading pad, and then it would just he would know how to sing it and everything. Yeah, but this is such a great pause moment because of that face, because of what you see into that real human connection that's going on stage within the music, and it's beautiful. All right, here are the lyrics for the first stanza. Try looking at tomorrow, not yesterday, and all the things you left behind, all those tender words you did not say, the gentle touch you couldn't find. In these days of nameless faces, there's no one truth, but only pieces. My life is all I have to give. Dare to live until the very last. Dare to live, forget about the past. Dare to live giving something to yourself, to others, even when it seems there's nothing more left to give. And it's a really warm sentiment, right? Wither, it's good to see you. And Creeperty, it's good to see you. Thank you for the 9 months. I'm glad to be back too. Jizin, thank you for the 5 months. It's good to see you too. It's a beautiful, like, modern sentiment, right? We talk so much about, I would say that the group of people that gather in this live stream, in this community, we like, non-traditional styles of music. We also dig into what joy music brings us and why and what it is and what are these performances to us, and it's a deeper connection to the art form than a lot of people go through life engaging in. And absolutely confident saying that. What ends up happening when you do that is everything else kind of starts to get gray, right? It's like drugs. Like if you're addicted to drugs, like you have the upper and then inevitably the downer. Like if you dig into music like this, you have that upper connection feeling with the music and the other people enjoying it and the performers, and then everything else kind of seems gray. But this music captures that sentiment perfectly in that when you do go that extra length to understand and experience life, you have like no other choice but to give more and risk more to enjoy. Risk your life, risk your love, risk the things that you hold on to, your possessions, in the attempt at feeling more, right? Music is that tool that allows us to feel deeper if we want to engage with that, if we allow ourselves to be vulnerable to that. And it's the same thing with love, right? Let's see if I can find the translation for the next stanza. We'll keep listening. Let's listen to our man, Andrea.
Davanti al tuo portone che dorme avvolto in un cartone. Se tu ascoltassi il mondo una mattina senza il rumore della pioggia, tu che puoi creare con la tua voce, tu pensi i pensieri della gente, poi di Dio c'è solo Dio. Vivere nessuno mai ce l'ha insegnato. Vivere non si può vivere senza passato. È bello anche se non l'hai chiesto mai. Una canzone ci sarà, sempre qualcuno che la canterà.
Oh my gosh. Wither voice, I'm so sorry to hear that you had a stroke, but I'm glad that you're doing okay. And I really mean that. Thanks for sharing that. It probably was super tough. But I'm glad you're still here and things are good. Wow. I mean, so I'm reflecting kind of on what I said earlier about Andrea's voice, and that it's like operatic sounding because it has vibrato, right? But on the other hand, the timbre it's almost like an easy rock sound, right? Which is very exciting. And it's also so easily. It's so easily produced. Wait. Capriani, thank you for the $100 tip. I'm sorry I don't have my overlays set up or any of the alerts, but thank you so much. I mean, you're bringing this wonderful music to us right now, and you're supporting the community and me, and it's so appreciative. Thank you. Your ears have a great time. Your ears are having a great time listening to it. Yeah, right? Isn't that what it is? The $69 tip. Pog, man, Pog. Here's his lines, and here's the tenderness that his art kind of contributes to. Ma se tu vedessi l'uomo. I'll read it in English. But if you see a human in front of your entrance who sleeps wrapped in a box, if you would listen to the world in the morning without the noise of the rain, you are the one who can create with your voice. You think with the thoughts of people, of the God who is just the God. To live, no one has ever taught it. Well, that's the next stanza. But again, it's this call to think deeper, to seek deeper meaning at risk, right? Because why do we not seek deeper meaning in something? It's because we have the potential to hurt ourselves, to become so knowledgeable that it's painful, right? effortless, relaxed, powerful singing. Guys, I'm overwhelmed by. I missed you guys so much. Oh man. I'm glad you've recovered with her. That's really good to hear. No joke. It's so nice. Yeah, that makes me so happy, and everyone's here, and we're together again. It makes me so happy. Again, the sentiment of connection, of the incentive to dig deeper in life, dig deeper and connect with people who you normally wouldn't. It's such a beautiful idea, and these two voices together are just absolutely gorgeous. What Bocelli is doing vocally is obviously he's a tenor. Obviously he has the classical technique, and his phonation is so relaxed and pure, right? And it's not unlike many of the great operatic tenors. The only exception is that it's not maximized to create the sound necessary to carry without a microphone. But you don't really lose much in the meantime, right? You don't really lose anything on the way there. Oh, Mia's reacted to this. That's awesome. I need to watch that. This is such a beautiful one. So now let's listen to them together, right?
Searching for that
Non
one
vivi
true
questa
love.
sera. Perché?
You should know what I'm
Non
talking
vivi
of.
ora. Perché?
So what he can get away with is adding a little bit of that grit to the sound. Or even just like allowing a little bit of that grit in the sound. It's kind of cool. You know, it's still a well-supported sound, and it doesn't get in the way of the duet. It doesn't get anything in the way of the duo that is happening. But it's the choices, the more open palette that you get when you're singing in this classical pop-like style. And notice how he kind of opens up and he kind of folds back into this more relaxed, a little bit breathy, a little grittier sound. And Laura makes the sound more pointed. Again, these are the dynamics that go into a virtuosic duet. And sometimes it's not even a thing that's discussed. But when you're singing with someone, you feel where you can complement them. You feel where you can pull back in the timbres that you're engaging with and allow them to take that part because it's more suitable in her voice. Obviously, a high soprano or a soprano belty, she's probably a mezzo voice, but it's that pop sound that she can kind of do anything, that R&B-ish type of voice, quality-wise, right? She can sing so beautifully in this style too, but it fills in that pingy range. Whereas Bocelli's voice is more velvety, it's more relaxed, and they complement each other so immensely. I love this still. I was remembering watching this the first time, and that tongue position so high, but forward, high and forward. It clears all this space for the sound to just like shoot out, uninhibited, not caught or anything. The jaw is relaxed. That sound is just pinging straight up. And speaking of, the experience of singing while blind, right? When I'm taught to sing, when a lot of classical singers are taught to sing, you're taught to sing through imagery. I am literally told, I had a voice lesson 2 days ago. I was literally told, watch the sound as it goes up. Watch it in your mind's eye. Watch that resonance go up. It's such a helpful concept. And it's been proven that when you do not have vision in your eyes, your visual cortex is still stimulated by certain things. There's still a stimulus that goes on there, and that imagery manifests itself in the way that you hear things and the way that you feel things, right? And so there is likely such a powerful kinesthetic connection to the sound, visually, not literally through vision, but through the imagery and the feeling of sound. And honestly, if you have sight or you've had sight in your life, there's probably no way of replicating that sensation. And that may be one kind of secret, or advantage or something that Andrea has to have such a consistent voice. I've never heard of times that people have seen him live or otherwise where his voice doesn't work, where it's not there. But it's a super reliable instrument. And maybe the connection to that visual stimulus that's not literally visual but relies on the visual cortex, maybe that's part of it. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. It's just an interesting thought. Creepery, this is the Patreon stream. So these are the monthly Patreon posts from Patreon page. Yeah, thank you for those 2 subs to Scraggle Muffin and Minnie Lou. It's good to see you guys. Sorry, guys, I'm missing some chat things. I'm very invested in this song. Back from when he started singing Vivere, to live, no one has ever taught it. To live, it's impossible to live without the past. To live is beautiful, even if you have never asked for. It will be a song someone will sing. Dare to live searching for the ones you love. Why are you not living tonight? Dare to live, no one but we all, no one but together. Why are you not living now? Dare to live until the very last. Your life is all you have to give. Beautiful. And they sing that out. So let's see what incredibly beautiful climactic moments are happening as we approach the end. His face is so relaxed and it drives me crazy. Because if you've ever tried to sing, what are those, B flats or something? If you've ever tried to sing high notes like that, I'm like, what? B naturals. If you've ever tried to sing something like that high in your voice, these are his high, this is his upper range. With that much relaxation, it's so difficult, but it's virtuosic. This is what we pay for with experts. This is why we go pay for tickets to their concerts, because there's nothing inhibiting that sound. Yeah, whether you're right, Dr. Charlie. See that R&B sound? She's got that clean, crisp quality that allows for such a nice, easy phonation in that area. Oh, gorgeous.
Grazie Laura.
Grazie Laura.
All'Aiatico, incredibile.
È un piacere, Andrea.
Amazing.
E pensare che io la incontro sui cartelloni di tutti gli stati del mondo.
I love Italian. This language is so rich and beautiful.
Sei il più grande, la più grande voce ed è un piacere
Sono
per
più
me.
grande di statura.
Più grande voce.
Vi ringrazio per avermi dato l'opportunità
Such
di
a great
suonare,
voice.
cantare con una bellissima band, con un pubblico così speciale e soprattutto con
With a special audience and a magnificent band and such an amazing voice of a colleague. Gratitude, right? You can't have beautiful performances like this without gratitude. That's, if anything, that's the key. A lot of people get hung up on the life of making music or the hobby of making music or the idea of it, the key to get through that hang up is gratitude. And at the top level of the art form, whatever genre it is, gratitude is what gets you through.
Con il grande Andrea Bocelli.
Grazie.
Amazing. Truly, truly fantastic.